So we have the lovely Mr. Mod Doom. He's joined Jagex about a month ago, and he's only just like recently revealed himself and stuff after accepting the position. Did you want to do like just a small little intro, say like who you are, and like maybe one thing that I always see in chat is like, are you taking over Mod Hooli, or like what's the difference between you, Mod Hooli, and like other CMs, etc. So if you have like a specific role,
so hello. I'm Mod Doom. I'm taking over more of the community, player-facing part of the community team here on RuneScape. Hooli is not going anywhere. Hooli gets to tell me what to do. Hooli is in charge. So Hooli is still here, still doing everything. He's doing an awesome job looking after the team. So I'm working closely with Azana and the team. It's been really cool so far. Hooli is still going to be around. He's still hopefully going to be on live streams and taking part in all that sort of thing. So he's been really great. He's been very helpful at getting me set up, introducing me to all of the sort of senior members of the team, and helping come up with a lot of the community level initiatives for what we're doing at the moment. So he has been absolutely fundamental. So I have nothing but lovely things to say about him. He's been great, and he's continuing to be great, and he is not going anywhere. So Hooli fans rejoice. He's sticking around.
Can you reveal any of the stuff like you're looking to be working on and stuff, or is that like way too early to speak about? If it's way too early, that's completely fine. I mean, you like mentioned a couple of things like initiatives and stuff.
So the key thing, and I have touched on this before, it's not a secret that across the board, not just at a community level, at every level, the RuneScape team and Jagex are really rallying to this initiative of being community driven. What that means is just making sure that more of what we do is in sort of harmony with player voice, or is in a way that it's trying to be more open to the community voice. And I think that obviously as someone who hasn't been actively participating in the RuneScape community as much in the past, I haven't been part of the RuneScape community, I've only come in very recently. I know that has been something that I have been personally told from players, is that there has been a bit of a disconnect in communication. There's been less communication between the community managers and the JMODs and players. And so that was kind of the thing that when I came in, I was like, why not? Like, why don't we just why don't we just get out there more? And obviously there's myriad of reasons down to an individual, JMOD by JMOD basis of why certain JMODs don't want to be more active in the community. Some of them are just more interested in focusing on their work and letting their work speak for them, and that's totally fine. Totally respect that. That's not their job. Their job is to be, whoever, designer,
a developer,
whatever their role in the team is. Then their role isn't to be out there in the community. That's my job. But at the same time, I want to be out here and engaging with the community, of course. But I'm also kind of one of the things that Hooli and I have brainstormed is how we can get more JMODs out in front of the community to help bridge the, handhold the community and be like, okay, here's Mod whoever talking about a thing they've worked on. It's been good so far, of course. We love, Mod Shogun is great, always out in front of the community. We love, obviously Mod Sponge.
Yeah.
Mod Abe, Mod Stew, my beloved. Mod Black Witch, Mod Dragon, so many awesome members of the team who are doing excellent work, the same as everyone on the team. Everyone's doing excellent work, but they also have that confidence and are comfortable with coming out on streams and showing that what they're working on to the community. And I think that
I like that a lot.
A little bit of being like, here's what we're working on is great. I think it's really cool, and it's something that Hooli, Azana, the team, and I really want to do more of.
When it comes to like the initiatives and stuff, is that kind of like hand in hand with like your roles and stuff with the CM and getting people more active with like the Fasoa discussion and
Yes.
the
So
Comcape discussion, is that all like
unfortunately,
linked?
that is mostly me.
Mhm.
Where I came in and I had no idea what a Fasoa was. First week I came in and I was chatting to the team and they were like, okay, so as we've now discussed and as the discussion has now been public, the stuff like fracture staff of Armadillo is causing issues. What can we do to adjust this? And so that's when Mod Sponge came up with the roadmap of the ideas and things like that. And I was like, okay, how about we just go and present what we've got, why these changes have to be made, and just gauge the feedback. Admittedly, I understand we've had a lot of feedback about how we went about doing that. Dropping the teaser in the This Week in RuneScape, causing everyone to panic sell, and it's like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
all right, I underestimated just how the community would react.
It's
And
the
that's
RuneScape community in a
fine.
nutshell, man. They
I've
go
learned
crazy.
from it.
Hmm.
What little information we gave there caused concern, and I totally get that. I totally get that. But I was like, let's just have this dialogue, and then again, this was me. I'll take full ownership of this. I suggested the RuneScape subreddit. It's an accessible space that has a way to filter discussion. You can sort of sift conversation and you can have people contributing to threads, so someone can post something and everyone below it can then add and make
Yeah.
adjustments. And it's an organized system that a lot of people are familiar with. Reddit, it's a pretty easy space to go to. My concern was, if we go to Discord, it's just going to be a billion messages, or it's going to have to be in like 30 minutes slow mo, and it's going to be an absolute nightmare. Like, at least a little bit more organized. Obviously, the Reddit mods and the Reddit team were great, very supportive, very engaged, and Mod Sponge, of course, was excellent. I don't want to say it went well, but I don't want to say it went badly. It's hard to really gauge how it went. But
I think it's safe to say that it went well. To be fair, I think it's a success so far. Just in like the player base are happy, regardless on like the replies to the threads and stuff, like or whatever. We're just happy that we've had like the communication of both of those things, like the Fasoa and the Comcape and stuff, and there is a open discussion with Jagex saying things that like we agree with or that we've wanted and stuff. And I think that's a big thing. Knowing that the JMODs are working on something is good, because even if we get no content, we know what they're doing. Because sometimes if you're left in the dark, you're just like, well, we haven't had an update in 3 months. What the heck are they doing?
Yeah,
right?
I totally get it that you want to know what happens on a day-to-day basis, and I would love for us to be able to give sort of daily updates on everything. But for what we've got, I think it's a good position for us to be in, where we can just sort of say, this is what we have been working on. Here's where we're at, and just provide a little bit of an update. And again, it's about being community driven. We really want to make sure that when we're speaking about this sort of thing, we do want to make it clear that it is something that's done with consideration. And I know that hasn't always come through before. I totally respect that. That's and the community are justified with cynicism, especially. I know that it's quite easy to sort of turn around and say, "Oh, but they said this," so totally get it. So I'm eager to make sure that if it's possible in the future, we can be more consistent in communicating. That sometimes isn't possible. Of course, sometimes we'll be able to provide an update, and then while things are moving along internally, there's not always any significant update that we can provide. And sometimes, especially if things are still working, trundling along, we don't want to start saying stuff before we're confident in what we're putting forward, like what we're proposing.
Like necromancy, for example.
Not even that. I think for even smaller things, like smaller changes, I think it as a general rule, from my experience so far, it's that we want to make sure that we are 100% confident in what we are putting forward. Because if we put it forward too prematurely and then have to retract, make changes, adjust, especially if we ascribe things like dates to it, that definitely throws things out of kilter. So, for example, again, going back to, I feel like I'm never going to get away from this conversation. Going back to Fasoa and Animate Dead. Initially, we said next month.
Yeah.
realistically, looking at a conversation, looking at the feedback we've got, it could well be next month. I don't know for sure, because I think I would much rather us focus on making sure that stuff's done. I just don't want to start letting people down with things like deadlines. I think that's my concern, is that that would be something that can then start to sow seeds of not distrust, but if we say something and then we miss deadlines, that then reflects badly. And even though we are not meeting those deadlines for a good reason, I still think it's better not to commit to those unless we're absolutely sure we can meet those marks and hit those targets.
Yeah.
So that's my personal take on it. Who knows? I'm still very much early on in the whole process. So maybe further down the line it will get even better. But for the moment, it's been going pretty well, and I'm excited. But I'm trying to figure out the cadence and the rhythm of how I can engage with the community and report feedback and do what I can. I'm trying at the moment. So to kind of circle back to one of the first things you asked, one of the main purposes of my role and one of the main focuses of my role is that I'm trying to champion player voice at an earlier stage, which is quite challenging given my good experience. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get through as much of the game as I can. I'm trying to get as much experience as I can. I'm trying to absorb information from skillers and PVMers and trying to get as many different perspectives as I can, so that then when I'm sat down with development teams at the very early stages of something, I can say, how does XYZ affect skillers? How does XYZ affect cluers? How does XYZ affect
always the cluers,
EVM? How does this affect lore hounds? People who love the lore.
He's picking up all the lingo, guys. He's been with us 2 weeks after announcing himself. Look at him go.
I've done my two clue scrolls, and now I'm hooked. Not like this. It's the addiction started. I've joined the Discord. It's all over. So that's kind of my internal position and role, is to make sure that when we're having conversations about adding something or changing something, I will be able to say, all right, but I know, let's say hypothetically, this is, I'm completely making this up.
Hypothetically,
this is completely made up. Hypothetically, something about melee changes. Hypothetically, I would then be able to say, how does that impact this hypothetical combat triangle?
So panic by EZK.
I mean, I'm going to be biased because I am a melee Chad. But then I'm like, okay, how would that impact PVM? How would that impact skilling? How would that impact this boss? How would it impact this boss? And trying to make sure that obviously the dev team think about all of this. Yeah. But I need to try and put them in the shoes of those players. And I'm going to say, okay, this is good. There's going to be solo 100 Zami. Is it going to work with that, or is it going to be, how are we going to do with Archglaze, or is it going to work there? And trying to ask them to consider all of these angles, and we'll get there. So at the moment, I'm just absorbing a lot of the knowledge and the perspective of the community, so that when we do get to that point, looking at future developments, that is something I can talk about.
I'm already impressed, because when you first done your stream with Mod Hooli, he asked you some really hard questions for you, like literally never really playing RuneScape before, and I thought it was quite hard for you to answer a lot of them, because like you didn't really know much about the game, or you were newer to the game. But now, like, you've already said stuff like, you gave examples of bosses that you probably have never done, but you've researched and spoke about, and like you're with the team and stuff. So that already gives, like, I mean, it gives me, and hopefully chat and anyone, a bit of like sigh of relief, I guess, to know that you're dedicated and you want to like learn and be this voice of the players. I think that would be a good way to sum up what you've been speaking about, because you will be us going to Jagex because we can't do it, so you'll do it on our behalf, kind of thing, right? So, and you learning all of the stuff is going to be beneficial to that. So that's already really nice. And like with your Golden Gnome stuff, I mentioned when you were in chat yesterday, it was nice that you've done like research before like with the little speeches and stuff of like saying that incorporates with the people, and that was really nice. It was more personal and stuff like that. So those little touches on a CM is the type of stuff that we want and we've wanted. I feel like we've not really had a voice of the people or like a CM that we can really like go to or like trust in, confide in, since like Shawnee and Mod Porky, who are like Mod Porky probably hasn't been with Jagex for maybe like 2 years, and then Mod Shawnee was like before Mod Porky, like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. So like now you have big shoes to fill, and people will expect you to fill those shoes. Like, but I honestly think you're doing really well with like the everything given to you. How are you feeling like you're settling in personally? Do you feel like the reception that you've received is nice? I've seen some nice.
I've been very pleasantly surprised by the reception. You know, I previously worked before I joined Jagex. I worked at Electronic Arts, EA, and then that was much more behind the scenes, Marcom stuff. And then I had another job, another community manager job before that, before this, and then I came here, and each time this has been the warmest reception by far to me arriving, and I've been pleasantly surprised. I know that I was told time and time again, they were like, the community are really good. They're passionate, but they're the best. And I was like, every community says that, but I'm genuinely so impressed with the reception I've received. It's been so nice and so pleasant, and everyone's been so receptive and really nice. I know that in the initial stream I was like total skill level like
800.
6. Was I 800? Yeah, we're I'm approaching 900 now. I'm just trying to squeeze in some stuff, but in my 67 agility, just vibing out.
67 agility at 900 total is pretty impressive, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, like what I took a screenshot yesterday. 14 farming, level 1 summoning, level 1 dungeoneering. I have not touched them yet.
They're the ones people go to last, don't worry. Hey, look, my account has level 1 summoning, level 1 dungeoneering. Granted, it's because I can't access the region that gives me those things. But hey, we're twins. We're twins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That makes me feel better. But I am really enjoying it. I'm what are we looking at? Quests. So I've been really enjoying the quests. I've only got 45 quest points, but the quests I've been doing have been really fun. I mean, I mentioned.
So you're not a spacebar warrior?
No. The ones I've done have been like pretty complicated, though. To be fair, I did. So I've done the Ozan double bill. I've done Diamond in the Rough, and what's the other one called?
Stolen Hearts.
Yeah. So I did those. Really enjoyed those. One Piercing Note.
Really good quest, right?
Fantastic. Play with sound on. If you're not playing with sound on, what you're doing?
Yeah, voice acting so good in it.
It's really good. Really enjoyed that. The most recent quests I've done were like, so I did All Fired Up recently, got through that, and then Beneath Cursed Tides and Broken Home.
2 solid quests. Those last 2, yeah,
it's great, absolutely great. Had a great time with those. Thoroughly enjoying it.
How did you feel about Beneath Cursed Tides? Because I know with your intro speech, you were talking about Tutorial Island, and it's like backwards Tutorial Island, right?
Yeah,
waterlogged.
It's really cool. Like I mean, even now, as like I vividly remember when I was a kid, I was like, I vividly remember Tutorial Island so well. So like seeing it again, it's like, it's great, but like then seeing it like the underwater, I was like, this is really cool. I don't know, I was really digging it. It was really neat.
Yeah, it plays on the nostalgia of it in a different way, and I genuinely enjoyed that quest a lot. It's like the new Murder Mystery one was so much fun, because it's like it's a nature of Jagex to have like silly and goofy things in the quests.
Yeah, and it's one of the things I sort of Murder on the Border is quintessentially RuneScape in a way. It feels very like, it's got that humor, and it's got that style to it that people really are drawn to. So yeah, really loved it. Broken Home was a good one because I as a kid, I mean, I currently have my coffee cup resting. I don't know if the camera's going to pick this up on a little coaster that's a Resident Evil
Ah, the
PS1
OG.
case, the OG
Hmm.
Resident Evil. So as soon as I went through the front door in um in Broken Home and I saw that stairwell in the middle and it was a spooky mansion, I was like, oh, I know what this is. And immediately I was like, I get it. And so I immediately just latched onto it and was like, this rules. Absolutely love this.
Yeah, so
Um,
many like Easter eggs in a lot of
yeah,
RuneScape content.
really, really loved it. Very, very good time. But yeah, I've just been having a great time with it, and I'm not able to get as much time in as I would like.
Hmm.
Obviously, lots of reporting, lots of meetings and stuff.
Yeah, of
Which
course.
I'm like, no, this is XP waste. I could be doing anything else right now.
Yeah.
But it's been great. The team have been so welcoming. All of the JMODs have been so lovely and so receptive to what I think seem like a bit of a bunch of harebrained ideas. Where I'm like, why don't you just go on Reddit and just tell Reddit what your plan is for this change? And they're like, are you sure? And I'm like, yeah, why not? Go on. And then it does turn out to actually be well received and
Yeah.
contentious, yes, but it was always going to be contentious. At least now we're having the dialogue around
Well,
it.
yeah, nerfs are always going to be with
Of
that
course,
somewhat
totally,
negative stigma. Like
totally
it
understand it.
happens. Yeah.
So yeah, I totally get it. But it's been really good. I've been sharing some of my little progress updates
Hmm.
along RuneScape on Twitter, and that's been really great. People have been really engaging
I
with that.
I do want to say, I'm going to open it up now. I really enjoyed your murder in the border post with your little edit that you did to it. Let me find it. So this is Mr. Mod Doom's Twitter. He's been updating, like posting his progress and stuff, and this was his post of the fought for free murder on the border one, and it just makes me happy. Like stuff like this is just so goofy, and every time I see it, I'm like, yes, this is good. This is great.
It's just a good time. Yeah, just thoroughly enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a fun little thing I do on like my lunch break. So every Tuesday lunchtime, I'll just sit down in Photoshop and I'll just be like, I'm just gonna make one of these.
Mhm.
So obviously yesterday we had the Prime Gaming, so I was like, oh, I'll do a Prime Gaming one.
I like that
Stupid
one a lot
little
too.
stupid little images just make my lunch breaks go
Yeah,
fast.
yeah.
It's just a nice little sort of time sink. But they're just a fun little thing, and it's really reassuring that I'm like, when I do those, I'm like, I'm just having fun with this, and people
Mhm.
resonate with it, and I'm like, it's just a really cool time. And while I'm normally buried in spreadsheets and things like that, it is nice to every now and then just have something a little bit more lighthearted and just be like,
Yeah.
here's a little meme for
That's
you
what we
guys.
need in a community manager. I said it on stream like maybe yesterday or the day before, because we were like talking about like the FSOA changes and stuff like that, and then we started speaking about like community managers and stuff. And it's like with your first Jagex stream, I feel like obviously the questions were really hard, so it was you did well with like that, but then you were also answering things in a fun and like maybe goofy, because I'm quite goofy. I like goofing off. So like
Yeah,
you're more memorable when you do stuff like introducing yourself by calling everyone the little pog champs.
they are
Everyone
my
was
little
talking
pog
about it,
champs.
including myself, right? So like
Yep, you did mention it. So
in yeah, it's straight away you're like already remembered for, even if it's not like because you said something about the game, it's just in general in your personality, and then people like to interact with humans. And I feel like a lot of time when you're like talking to devs, they give you like robotic answers or like the political like answers, and then it's more fun to have someone who feels more human, more genuine. And you are definitely one that I feel like so far, and probably still will, is like that more genuine and human side.
yeah, I that's my goal really, is that I understand that there's a lot of the team who obviously just want to get their heads down, get working on what they got to get working on,
Mm.
and some of them want to just take pride in what they've done and then just share. They're like, oh, I did this, yada yada yada. Look at this thing I did. That's great. That's amazing. Of course, all of the JMOD should be awesome and insanely proud of their achievements. They should be, and
Mm.
I'm always on board to share if they're proud of it. You know, every time I speak to the JMODs, I'm like, look, if you're working on something and you're really proud of it, drop me a message. We're gonna push this out, share this with people because it's great. And so whenever we get the chance to show new stuff off, I jump on it because I'm like, that's what players want. We will, you know, everyone's always hungry for more content, always hungry for more of anything. So, well, not everything, but almost anything they're on board for. So I'm like, let's do it. Let's share it. So yeah, I'm really, really thrilled that so many of the team are on board to share stuff and get involved and help out. So I hope that having that energy encourages the rest of the team to kind of keep up and have a similar energy and keep up the vibes. And so I can be a little bit more unhinged and a little bit more memey. That's fine because I think that most of the time internally facing the dev team, a lot of the stuff I'm engaging with is more serious. It's more report based and data driven. So it's nice to have that balance that when I am speaking to the community, I'm a little bit more lighthearted, a little bit more goofy and accessible and just having fun with it. And then I can just switch when I go back to the team. I can be like, all right, well, that was fun, but then let's get back to the data. Let's get back to this and that. So it's nice to have that balance. So that's always been my concern, is that I know that if I do say, you know, if I am posting loads of memes and stuff and having a really good time, I don't want it to come across that I'm not taking things seriously, because I am. It's just striking that balance. Like I make one meme a week and then I'm like, all right, 4 days a week I'm buried in spreadsheets. But 1 day a week I get to make a funny little picture. So that's like, that'll do.
Yeah, that's fun.
It's a nice trade-off. Yeah, I'm really still having such a good time with the game. It is amazing. There's so much cool stuff and so many awesome talented people. It is a thrill to be here. It's an absolute privilege. You know, if I went back in time and I could tell my younger self, small Bibby Doom, to be like, hey, you know that game that you're playing right now is you burning your shrimp on Tutorial Island. Hey, you know you're going to work for this company.
Yeah, right.
And I'll be like, what are you saying? How did you get it? I would absolutely be in disbelief. So thoroughly thrilled to be here, and I cannot wait to continue to do everything I can to help make this game the best it can be. It's gonna be tough, but I'm excited. I think we've already done a lot of good stuff. Not just myself, of course. It's not me. It's the team. The whole of the RuneScape team are doing everything they can to be more communicative, to be more open, to be more engaged, and again, community driven is kind of the thing that we keep circling back to whenever we're doing this stuff. We're like, okay, but how are we gonna? You know, I know that one of the big things we've got from feedback is community polling for things like the comp cape.
Yep.
I don't know where we're at with that, but I certainly know that it's feedback that we've had a lot, and that's been relayed. And so I've brought it up. The team know about where we sit in terms of how players engaged with everything. Community have engaged. They've said we would like to do polls, and then we can then go back to the team and say this was well received. The community would like to do a poll, something to consider moving forwards, and then we just kind of leave it at that.
Yeah, because we had the in-game poll system forever. And I think the last time it was used was like 2 years ago, right? Like it doesn't get used or utilized to its fullest. And already with the comp ones already been proposed, like those type of things are great to poll because it's the voice of the community and it's people answering. So I
totally agree. I really like the idea of it. Whether or not we can implement it, obviously, I would always say to the team that we shouldn't poll something if we aren't absolutely confident that if the poll comes out saying yes, put XYZ in, we have to be absolutely confident that we can just do that. You know, we shouldn't poll something if we aren't able to completely commit to whatever outcomes we put there. So it's something that I'm sure we can continue to work on. It's something that I'm going to try and continue to needle the team to consider. That's my job right now, is professional nuisance. The team are just trying to do their jobs. They're just trying to get on with stuff. And I'm like, you should post on Reddit. And they're like, oh my God, shut up. So, yeah, I'm just trying to constantly drag JMods out on stream and be like, look at how good they are. And obviously they're busy and they don't mind, but they would rather be left to work. So
yeah,
I'm just being a little nuisance. It's great. Yeah, it has been so good so far, and everyone has been so lovely. I understand that not everyone was thrilled to hear that I'm not like a lifelong 20-year vet or whatever coming into this position.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean I'm not willing to try. I don't think I'm going to be able to learn 20 years of RuneScape in the next 6 months. I'm going to try and learn what I can.
Yeah, and you've already learned a decent amount from this conversation. I can tell that you've done some research, etc. I don't know whether it's like a bad thing that you're newer to RuneScape, because you said on the first stream that you were looking to do some streams on the RuneScape channel and stream like your progress and stuff. So would you want to go a little bit more detail about that?
I mean, it's something I'd like to do. I know that I have a personal character that I sort of not the JMOD one, but my own personal account that I've been playing on for a couple of months. I actually picked it up back in, I think, December, a while back, before I even applied to join the team.
Right.
I was just hopping on and just doing some sort of AFK skilling. But then that has been what I've been playing on. But I think maybe it's a possibility that we could keep that going. Mod Spear and Mod Hooli obviously did JMVM streams and things like that. That's something that we could explore as a possibility of bringing back. So yeah, it's definitely something that I would like to share some of my progress. I think, sharing screen caps on Twitter is fine, but I think there's definitely room to have more engagement. See if we can't share more progress live and have chat weigh in more. That would be cool. So it's something that I'd like to explore. Yeah, I'm very comfortable with streaming, and the team, Mod Spear and the team are awesome with the production crew, especially the gnomes. They did an awesome job juggling so many different moving parts. They were great. So they're awesome to have in our corner. I would totally be on board with doing streams, either solo or with any of them, or however we do it. It would be really cool. So I'm totally down for doing streams in the future. Well, it could be literally anything. I'm open to ideas. I see all the weird champ comments in chat from the past few streams who are like, he should do audiobooks. I mean, I could probably I don't know enough about the lore, but I could read the lore. That would be a good way for me to learn it. A nice little.
No, that's actually quite cool. I sound like that would be quite good on stream, because there's a lot of lore that I like, especially earlier game lore. A lot of like the old quests don't portray it too great, or they're like annoying quests. So you spacebar those ones, or you indulge in the newer ones because they're made better or whatever. So like I'd honestly be down for lore streams. I think there's been a couple of JMods who have done some lore streams before, and they've normally gone pretty well.
So yeah, I'm exploring my options, and then I'm going to still try and juggle doing stuff on my personal, not streams, but like my personal account. Just keep that going.
Yep.
I've got about 5 minutes before I've got to scoot off.
Okay.
If you want to throw some chat questions at me.
Yeah. Chad, if you have any questions for Mr. Mod Doom, we could do like a quick fire. So he could just like read the questions, answer them. If you guys have any, don't tell him to fix something in the game. He's a community manager. He's just looking for player feedback and stuff. Why Jagex? What made you apply for Jagex?
This is a weird one. I really liked the idea of the team just being so close and working so closely together. I knew previous roles that I'd worked for, the dev team and the community teams were quite separate. So the process would be that every week an update would go out. We'd then write a report. The report would go to the team. The team would take that feedback, and then nothing would come of it. And it was like, well, so I would be engaging with the community, getting feedback, and then I'd be like, okay guys, thanks for this feedback, and then I'd go to the team, and the team would we were just not getting there. Jagex has been incredible. They've been so receptive, so eager, so hungry for feedback, so hungry for information. It's been super wonderful to have a team so passionate and so confident and seriously invested in RuneScape's an institution. It's been around for decades. They believe in it, and obviously I believe in it. I just love being able to join that group effort of the whole team working together to make this happen.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's
they
really
are
awesome.
a very community focused. Like like most of the JMODs by face.
Yeah.
There's no other game you can say that the mods, like the people who work on the game, like Jagex for sure. I'll just quickly read some of the questions out for you. What's your favorite color?
My go-to color is like green. I like a good green, like a nice green like this, but nice navy blue as well. Although saying that, I did get the Plague Doctor cosmetic
that's green
override, which is green, and it looks really good.
Is there anything in the game that you haven't enjoyed so far?
My grievance is I love surging. I don't love surging into a tree that I'm standing right next to because I was accidentally facing the wrong way.
With the nice achievement that tells you that you did do it from one tile away as well, right?
Not chuffed with that.
Do you have a favorite skill so far?
I love mining.
Really?
Mining and smithing is like peak comfy
for
me. Like that's if I've had a long day and I'm feeling run down, I'm like, okay, just mine smithing. Let's just teleport to Falador, go straight to that dwarven mine, get straight in there, just head empty, mining, and just vibe. Archaeology is pretty comfy as well, but yeah, I reckon mining and smithing are my
That's cool. Mining and smithing rework really helps from a new player perspective as well, which came out like 2 years ago, so that helps a lot. And then the one final question, which is the most important: how do you get your hair looking like it does and being so fantastic?
Magic and hairspray.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
That's about it. The stripe is actually a relatively recent addition. I did a charity fundraising thing last October, and my hair grows really quickly. This is from like beginning of Feb. You can start to see the roots are coming through. Like I did it as like if we raise this much money for charity, I'll dye a bit of my hair.
Wow, that's nice, yeah.
But then it
actually
kind of grown on me, and I'm like, I'm going to keep this. And so now
that's a really pleasant surprise from like doing charity work, and then you found that, something that actually was cool. That's really wholesome. That story, I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on. And I don't want to waste too much of it. Well, not waste, but keep you for too long because you've got your meetings and all of that. But is there anything else you want to say before signing off or anything before I send you off to more meetings? Fun?
No, I really want to thank everyone. The lovely slice of the community that are here for being so welcoming and so receptive, and for being so positive and engaged with everything that we're trying to do. The emphasis is on trying. We are definitely doing what we can. And we are trying to get the foundations built here. Huli said it better than I did. We're at the crawl phase of the crawl walk run, right, where we are currently getting things set up, and it's going to start to become habit, and we'll eventually just run with it, and it'll just be second nature. So I really appreciate everyone's patience with how we're getting on with that, and everyone's open-mindedness. You guys have been amazing, and for just being so welcoming and not immediately rejecting me for being like, this guy's like skill level 800. This guy's rubbish. Like, get him out of here. We don't want this guy. He's not got a 10-year vet cape. Garbage. So I would have totally understood if that was the reception I got, but everyone has been so lovely. Thank you all so much for being such sweethearts. It's really made this whole thing so much easier for me, and it just reiterates how important it is that I do everything I can to help you guys feel heard and engage you guys more closely in how we operate. So I'm ready to do you guys proud. And thank you guys so much for being wonderful, and thank you, Maikeru, for being such an awesome content creator and looking after us and showcasing all the awesome stuff you can do in RuneScape. It's been a great time. You can always reach me on Twitter. I am at JagXDoom. I'm in most good Discords. If I'm not in a Discord that I should be in, let me know. But yeah, I'll be about, and I'm always available. And hopefully you'll be seeing more of my escapades in the near future.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for coming on. Have a
Thank you for
lovely
having me.
day and good luck.
Thanks so much. Have a good one.
See you later.
Take care.
Hey, what a nice guy, dude. Yeah, honestly, I think Mod Doom is like a genuinely, just by speaking to him for those like little bits from the first stream to now, he's definitely took it upon himself to learn stuff because he done like, you know, he mentioned Arc Glacier and Zami and stuff, right?